The next step in goal setting is getting clear on where to start. Last week, we talked about dreaming, exploring, getting really honest and open about the wants and wishes for your life. I invited you to write down at least 20 things that you want. And after I recorded that episode and published it, I noticed myself second guessing that word. The word want can feel kind of strong, especially if you have an ADHD brain. Long lists already have the potential to feel overwhelming. And when we call that list our wants, it suddenly feels like pressure, like a responsibility. Like now I have to do something with this. And at least for me, it can send me straight into paralysis. It can feel a little bit pushy because want is a word that I use to get myself going. I use it like, instead of saying I have to do, I find what I really want to do and use that word to get myself to take action. So, writing out my list of wants felt like a long to-do list, and it just didn't work for me. And this exercise is not about taking action right now anyways. It's not a to-do list. It's just about wishing and dreaming. I've actually done this process several times over the years, but I've always called it 20 wishes. That idea originally came from a Debbie Macomber book called 20 Wishes, and I read it for our book club years ago. All of us in the book club agreed that we would write out our own list, and it was surprisingly powerful. Not because we turned it into goals, although a lot of those things we did make reality. We went ahead and took the opportunities when we could, and they became real. But because it helped us to notice for ourselves what our truest desires really are. So if wants feel like too much to you, like they did for me, you can absolutely call them wishes. This part of the process is meant to feel fun and open and not heavy and difficult. So what do we do from here? Now the question becomes, okay, now what? How do we turn these wishes into goals without overwhelming ourselves in the process or burning out before we even begin? This is where a lot of people get stuck, and honestly where a lot of people just give up. If you have ADHD, this pattern might feel very familiar. You get excited about something new, it sounds fun, it feels really meaningful, and you can't wait to get started. So you dive in head first, you try to do it all of it, because it all sounds fun. It all sounds important and interesting and connected to each other. Then reality hits. There are more steps than you expected, more decisions, more parts, and pretty quickly excitement turns into overwhelm, and then overwhelm turns into frustration. Frustration turns into avoidance, and sometimes we just stop altogether. What makes this cycle so damaging is not that you didn't finish the project. It's the story that starts to form in your head. The why can't I follow through? Why do I always do this? How come this feels so hard? This type of self-talk will never get you to be more accomplished or get you across the finish line for the things that you want most. So for this new year, I invite you to look at yourself in a new way and approach your goals in a new way, a more gentle, affirming way. And move through this process one step at a time. Keeping it simple keeps it enjoyable. And if you enjoy the process, you're more likely to complete whatever it is that you are working on. From experience, I can tell you it can be really hard to let go of the push, the hustle, the forcing, the need to control the whole thing. A lot of us learn to work this way just to survive. When we were younger, it sometimes worked, at least for the short term, but pushing and hustling every day is exhausting. We end up using way too much energy to get even simple things done due to emotional exhaustion, and that's what leads to overwhelm and burnout. If you want to accomplish bigger, more meaningful goals, you absolutely can, but you have to step back first, not to doing nothing, but to stop trying to take care of everything all at once. All you need to focus on is doing the next right step, not the whole thing all at once. We're not worrying about how all the parts will eventually fit together. just the next or first right step that feels intentional and meaningful, and that's the system we will be creating here. So let's go back to your list, your wants, your wishes, your dreams, call it whatever is best for you. Here's what we're not doing. We're not turning the whole list into goals. That would be way too much and would set you up for a bunch of abandoned goals. Instead, we're narrowing our focus on purpose. You're going to choose just 3 things to work on for now. This does not mean you're letting go of the other 17. You're not abandoning them. You're just not making them active goals right now. Keep the list somewhere safe, maybe in your journal, your planner, a drawer. The fact that you wrote them down already matters because your brain will keep noticing the opportunities to embrace each of those things that you want when the opportunity comes. But we're protecting your time and intentions right now for what matters most now. Now there's 3 goal categories that I'm going to help you work with today. The 3 things you want to pick are one from each of these different areas. Business or career, because that's probably why you're here in the first place, to further grow your business. Second is personal health, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, whatever is most important to you right now. The third is relationships. When you're choosing your goals, see if some of your wishes connect. Often they're part of the same bigger picture. And here's something really important. If you want to reach your highest goals in business, you can't ignore the other parts of your life. You need to support yourself in all areas to show up with a clear mind and steady energy. It's not indulgent, it's smart, and it's strategic. Before we move on to picking out our goals, I want to talk about why these 3 categories matter because it isn't random. It's not about adding more to your already busy life. It's about creating stability while you grow. The first one, business and career. For most of you listening, your business matters deeply to you. It's not just how you make money. It's how you express yourself, use your skills, and create impact in the world. It's likely that your business is how you move into living into your higher purpose. You probably want to grow your business, and that's why you're here. So I invite you to dream really big. Aim high in your business goal. This should be something that's really meaningful to you, something that gets you excited and lights you up inside. Knowing that you aren't expected to reach it quickly, it's kind of like your baby. You plan for it, you work to make sure that you're doing everything right and in the right order, and you try to enjoy each phase that you are in. But knowing what you're working towards helps you to take each step along the way. Our second category is personal health. This category is about taking care of you, physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. And I want to say this clearly, this is not selfish. You have to take care of you. No one else can do it for you. If you want to get healthy and strong, you are the one who has to exercise and eat well. If you want to be more in touch with your faith or spirituality, you are the one who has to dedicate time to prayer or meditation. Decide what you need most right now in your life and decide that your health is worth the time, no matter how busy you are. Caring for yourself will also protect your nervous system. When your nervous system is overloaded, everything feels harder, decisions take more energy, focus is harder to access. Small problems feel bigger than they really are. Having a personal health goal helps regulate your system. It gives you a way to replenish instead of constantly pulling from an empty well. And if you feel more grounded, you naturally show up better in your business and your relationships without forcing it. This goal is about stability so you can keep going and doing the things that you love. The third area is relationships. This is a category a lot of people want to skip, especially high-achieving, independent people like us. But relationships matter more than we often realize. According to the American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine, in a study about the blue zones, 5 areas on Earth that have the largest number of centenarians, or people who live to be greater than 100, There are 9 different things that they have in common that it is believed lead to their long life. 3 out of those 9 things are related to relationships. This should tell you how important relationships really are. Now, the connection that we make in relationships helps to regulate our nervous system. It gives us perspective when we're feeling stuck in our own head, and it reminds us that we don't have to do everything alone. Whether it's strengthening a partnership, spending more intentional time with your kids, reconnecting with friends, or building a community, relationship goals create support around your growth. Now, let's transition back to how we're going to choose our goals. When you choose one goal from each category, you're not adding more to your plate. This is not about creating more things to do and adding to the overwhelm of an already busy life. This is about creating a balance. This is about support and a foundation that helps prevent burnout while you work toward what matters most to you. That balance is what allows you to keep taking the next right step without overwhelming yourself. So here's where we're landing today. Start with wishes, not pressure. Number 2, narrow your focus on purpose. Number 3, choose balance to avoid burnout. And trust yourself to take one step at a time. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to control the whole entire process. You just need to take the next right step and trust that what comes next will show up when you're ready. Next week, we'll talk about what to do next to set yourself up for long-term success as you make progress towards achieving your big goals. And a little spoiler alert, it's not what you think. Setting and keeping goals for someone with ADHD is very different from traditional goal setting, which tends to not work for people who have brains that work like ours. And if you want help with any of this, choosing your goals, sorting through your list, or figuring out your next step, I'd love to support you. You'll find the link to book a complimentary coaching session in the show notes.